អំពីតើពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរត្រូវនាំគ្នាស្ដារប្រជាធិបតេយ្យបែបណាប្រសិនបើលោកនាងមានសំណួរឬយោបល់សូមសរសេរនៅក្នុងប្រអប់ comment ខាងក្រោមនៃការផ្សាយរបស់យើងតាមអាស័យដ្ឋាន www.facebook.com/withoutfear or favor.kh Good morning Miss Landrigan
Good morning so good to be here with you
It's nice to see you and nice to talk to you. First of all, please correct me if I read your brief background incorrectly. First of all, to our viewers, I'd like to welcome Miss Kelly Landrigan to our Idea Talk program this morning, evening time in Cambodia. Miss Landrigan represents Save Cambodia, a non-profit, non-government organization to the United Nations in New York, and works as an advocate for economic and social issues for the Cambodian people with the consultative status in ECOSOC, or Economic and Social Council at the United Nations in New York. If this is correct, then I will proceed to my questions.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Thank you. Well, it's nice to see you, nice to talk to you, and thank you for taking the time to be with us this morning. You and I have been aware of the political, economic, and social problems in Cambodia, even if the country has held a 5-year term elections for nearly 40 years. My first question to you is, what can the Cambodian people across the world, everywhere, the Cambodian diaspora, what would they do to restore democracy in Cambodia, and how?
Yes, so that's a big question, right? And you're also it's a big question, and you're also talking about like a very large group across a very large region. I think we could all say, and we could all agree, that what is already in motion, the diaspora of the Cambodian people, the Khmer people, coming together and joining in urgent action and responding to the actions that have been initiated, have been in process by the previous Hun Sen administration, and then now we're looking at the Hun Manet government as well. So every time to restore democracy, they have to say what is missing in terms of how a democracy can take place. And we know that one of the main issues is the lack of free and fair elections. So saying that it's going on, and the Khmer community responding to and speaking to the United Nations has made a difference.
Okay. My next question to you, since you have worked at the UN, you have more experience, you know the tricks around the United Nations. What do state actors, besides the Cambodian leaders, think about Cambodia and her people whenever a serious issue of human rights violations is raised and brought to the forefront? What did they do?
Okay, so I mean, I'm there when I'm at the UN. I don't work for the UN itself. So just so that the audience is clear, my capacity is the representative to the UN within ECOSOC, the Economic and Social Council. So my role there is to help move the conversation forward, to create alliances, to ask questions, and also to assist. I assist Save Cambodia, TVSIN, with research and monitoring. So part of that, I cannot say so much like what a member state thinks, but what is important is how the Cambodian community speaks to the member states. So we are in the process now of heading towards the UPR in Geneva, the Universal Periodic Review. What happens from now? It's going to be happening in spring of 2024. In May of 2024, yes. So that will be happening in Geneva. Now, what happens now until then? This is where the member states get to shape and form their opinions based on what the Khmer people say. So this is part of what actually makes this work so well, part of this process, why it is helpful, and why it is empowering for the community in general. This is where you get to take a stand and say what needs to be done for the democracy within the borders.
When you said member states, do you mean all the 100+ member states, or like members, the signatory members state to the 1991 Paris Peace Agreement?
So it could be any of those. It could be, right. So as we know, it's a process, right? So when we're talking about member states, we could be talking about, for example, member states of Europe. It could be the EU itself. We could be talking about the European Commission and being in conversation with them, with the United States, with Australia, right? So, and that's why I cannot speak for the member states themselves, but because the community has been telling them that there's been repression, there's been transnational repression, and repression of democracy, repression of opposition parties. Then the member states can listen and be aware, and they can respond in kind.
Okay.
Yes.
I spoke to our American friends who work to promote human rights for all, justice for all, condemn rights violations and corruption. They confirm what we have observed, that Washington doesn't want to talk about Cambodia. They almost forget where Cambodia is right now. What can the UN do if Washington just goes along and gets along with Cambodia's government?
Okay, so I think that we need to consider that the process for what is happening again. So remember, this is something that doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And, we can't necessarily say, like, Washington can speak for itself, but, as a representative, I cannot speak for Washington. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that Washington isn't listening, right? So everything that we're doing, this is where Washington also is starting to listen more. And that if we submit the information, this is where Washington could potentially take a stand and have an opinion and make a statement. Yeah.
Thank you. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Cambodia's new Prime Minister, Hun Manet, of course, Prime Minister's son, Prime Minister's father, Prime Minister's son, just visited New York to address the UN General Assembly. Outside the UN headquarters, Cambodian Americans protested his presence. At the same time, he is there as the head of the Cambodian government, the official guest of the United Nations, succeeding his father, whom the UN and rights groups have rebuked for decades. How do we make sense of it all when a human rights abuser, violator, is allowed to address the world as if nothing happened?
Right. So I think that, again, that there are those who are becoming aware and to whom the data is made available, so that they're not ignoring that this happened, right? And before an action can be taken, there is a process that must be addressed. Now, I think what's really interesting is that on October 11th, there's going to be in Geneva, there's going to be a special review. The special rapporteur.
October 11.
Yes. Now, this is key. Okay, so we have the UPR coming up in May of 2024, spring of 2024. Okay. That's happening in Geneva. That is, shall we say, one of the big dates, so to speak. Now, and as I said earlier in the interview, everything that is happening now, everything that State Cambodia is doing and that the Khmer community is doing, united in diaspora, right? Everything that they are doing now is helping to build to that moment. This is what matters in the moment. So October 11th, the special rapporteur.
So this is going to take place in Geneva too?
Yes, V.T. Muntarborn, who released the report last August of 2022, where he outlined 20 benchmarks. Right, there were 20 benchmarks that the Hun Sen administration, the Hun Sen government, needed to meet in order to be considered a government that was democratic, that had free and fair elections. And I think it's worth repeating again. And we know that the Hun Sen government went in the opposite direction. The Hun Sen government doubled down. Now, so I'm going to come back to October 11th.
Okay.
This is key because Cambodia is getting more attention. The rapporteur will not call for a special review unless there's something worth noting and something that needs to be discussed sooner rather than later.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. And that means that there is something significant happening. There is something more to present right away. So we could say the fact that we don't know for sure. We won't know until he presents his report. But it is interesting to note that after Hun Sen handed over his prime minister seat to his son, Hun Manet, that the rapporteur did call for this. Okay. That is significant.
So the world doesn't seem to recognize the election as legitimate, rather than the passing, the keys, the office keys to his son. My next question. Western analysts said the new Cambodian Prime Minister would follow his father's footsteps to stay in power, ostracizing any credible opposition groups. Is there a UN mechanism that can reactivate the Paris Peace Accord of 1991 on Cambodia, since it was part of the agreement? What is the impetus, for the UN to take the action?
Right. So, part of that is going to be part of what's happening at the UPR, and that's what that can be highlighted, because it's not just about so we're acknowledging the significance of the Paris Peace Accord and how important that was, right, and how binding it is, because it was a signed agreement. In recent years, Cambodia has signed 9 other treaties, right, that are supposed to acknowledge stability and human rights, and this is also going to be reviewed as well. So in addition to all of that, right, so this is where things are going to become compounded at the review. In spring, yes.
Right, in spring. I remember when I was in Geneva some years ago, when Surya Subidi was the UN rapporteur for Cambodia. He made over 100 or 90s or 100 recommendations for Cambodia to and follow up with them. But so far, nothing has happened, and things seems to be like business as usual. So my concern is that someone who was born and raised in Cambodia some 50 years ago, what else the world can do to help Cambodia? I understand that the part you just mentioned, that the Cambodian community here in the United States should get together, do something, and support Save Cambodia, make their voice heard to member states at the United Nations. But what else? Is there anything else? Do you see anything besides that?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And here's what's so exciting too, right? So coming from a place of compassion, but also a place of exciting hope. We need to be active. I mean, I'm part of this because I was invited, and I really love being active with the Cambodian community and everything that this represents and the cause. And we have to amplify our voices. I was at the protest on the 22nd. I was there with the Khmer community. It was so great to be there. Such an honor. And I mean, so many people from the Khmer community were there.
Right.
I was talking to as many non-Cambodian people as possible. And another friend who also decided to volunteer, that personal friend of mine who volunteered that day, was joining in with me.
I see.
Western non-Cambodian people want to know what's going on. As soon as they know what's going on, as soon as they're made aware, right, they are in support of establishing democracy once again and ending the oppression within the borders, and also the transnational repression. Every time we talk about any issue, but definitely the lack of democracy, the suppression of opposition, and transnational repression, that gets their attention right away. And the more, especially young people, please bring young people who are not Cambodian in. I'm doing everything I can, and I'm doing it absolutely joyfully. So here within the college campuses and elsewhere.
Right. Okay, well, it's great work. I mean, you have done great work for Cambodia and the people of Cambodia.
I try every day. It's my honor.
My last question, I know you have to run, you have to do something else. Does Save Cambodia work with the U.S. government to implement existing U.S. laws on foreign corrupt dictators?
So, Save Cambodia is an NGO, right? And Save Cambodia...
1C3, yeah.
Right. So, when it comes to actually creating policy, so your question is like, has Save Cambodia itself created a state or a federal law? Is that what you were thinking of, or...
Work with U.S. governments, the administration, Joe Biden, the administration, right. In terms of... what can they do? They have the existing laws, like, for example, the Magnitsky Act, something like that. I mean, have you gone into this area to work with the U.S. government?
Okay, so what Save Cambodia can do is Save Cambodia can talk to government officials and legislators. So that's what Save Cambodia has been able to do, and we've had those conversations, and they've been going quite well. It will be up to the legislator to actually propose something. Of course, we hope they do so. As I'm sure everyone, again, within the borders of Cambodia and in the diaspora, I'm sure that they want that to happen as well. Sure. Right. So, of course, it wouldn't necessarily be Save Cambodia writing the legislation itself, as much as being there to inform. Once again, it's all about information. If the legislator doesn't know what's happening inside, but also when they hear about the transnational repression, and this is why we're encouraging people to get the word out to people who are not in the Cambodian community, that's what will make the difference.
Okay, I understand the other part. 501c3 status doesn't allow you to influence the policy, something like that.
Right.
But anyway, just working and as an advocate for the good of humanity, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Right. Ms. Kelly Landrigan, anything you want to say before I let you go? 1 minute. Oh, just a second, please. My colleague wants to ask you a question.
Of course.
Sarada.
Hi, Miss Kelly. Very nice to have you on our show today. It's very great and very honor and very pleasure to have you and talking a lot about how to restore Cambodian democracy. My question, I hear you talking about trying to promote non-Cambodian to join the movement to restore democracy in Cambodia. So what is the benefit of that?
Well, the benefit is this: is that when other people know what's going on, when they are educated on the issues, then they can, number one, be aware. Number two, they can also participate in decision-making. They can participate in call to action. If they don't know that this is going on, they cannot do anything. Or in a way, they're innocent. So as much as there is going on around the world, we all know we're living in a digital age where we are receiving so many headlines. And so many headlines also have lots of importance and lots of weight, right? But then when we make that person-to-person contact, it makes all the difference. And we saw that in action at the rally on the 22nd. it was, if I may use the word, it was even magical. People were, they were young people that they were happy, they were grateful to be able to realize what's going on so that they can also be part of the conversation too and be supportive of the Khmer community.
So how do the Khmer community working on that? So do they have to? I mean, increasing their strategy or plan clearly in order to attract more non-Cambodian advocates in order to persuade them to help Cambodian issue. So
Sure.
How do they do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. My suggestion is always start simple. Right? So if there is a group, a neighborhood, a community group that you're a part of, and there are people who are not Cambodian, if it is perhaps your house of worship, if it's your school, your work, maybe it's you're part of a hobby or anything, that's one way. You can start talking to those people person to person. It will depend on who you are too. Like I'm a pretty outgoing person, so as you saw at the rally, I just walk up to anybody who will listen. That's another way too. Please also feel free, anyone listening, savecambodia.org. Please look at our website. You can find urgent action letters that you can sign and you can also share with people. You can also reach out to us for help with advice as to how to get things going within your community. Because there isn't any one single answer. There's so many ways that we can do this, and we can all do it together.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kelly Landrigan. We appreciate your hard work, your support for the cause of, for the well-being and also democracy and human rights and everything else in Cambodia. And we salute your work in this area. Thank you very much for your time this morning, and we hope you will come back at some point before you go to Geneva.
I would love to meet with you again. Such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, and thank you very much, Kelly Landrigan. She is the representative of Save Cambodia to the United Nations. Thank you very much. And
Thank
good luck to
you.
you.
Take care.
Goodbye.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
លោកអ្នកនាងទស្សនិកជនជាទីមេត្រីអំបញ្ញមិញនេះជាកិច្ចសម្ភាសជាមួយនឹងអ្នកស្រី Kelly Landrigan អ្នកស្រីជាតំណាងឲ្យអង្គការមួយហៅថាពីទសវត្សរ៍ 1980 គេហៅថាខេមរៈសង្គ្រោះឥឡូវនេះហៅថាអង្គការសង្គ្រោះកម្ពុជានៅអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិហើយអ្នកស្រីចេញចូលតាក់ទងជាប់ជាមួយនឹងក្រុមប្រឹក្សាមួយឈ្មោះថាក្រុមប្រឹក្សាផ្នែកសេដ្ឋកិច្ចនិងសង្គមគិច្ច EcoSoc ហើយដែលផ្ដោតទៅលើរឿងក្នុងសង្គមទាំងអបាលមានសិទ្ធិស្ត្រីសិទ្ធិរឿងគ្រឿងញៀនក៏មាននៅក្នុង EcoSoc ហ្នឹងដែរហើយក្នុងនាមជាអ្នកដែលពិគ្រោះយោបល់នៅពេលណាកិច្ចការប្រទេសកម្ពុជាត្រូវបានគេលើកឡើងនៅក្នុងអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិក្នុងចំណោមភ្នាក់ងារអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិដែលធ្វើការងារក្នុងប្រទេសនីមួយៗអ្នកស្រីឲ្យយោបល់ថាมันជាខុសគ្នាប៉ុន្មានទេពីភ្ញៀវរបស់យើងវាគ្មិនរបស់យើងដែលជាជនជាតិអាមេរិកក្នុងកម្មវិធី Idea Talk ហ្នឹងគឺថាខ្មែរយើងត្រូវតែមកប្រមូលផ្ដុំគ្នាបើចង់ឃើញការផ្លាស់ប្ដូររបៀបណាមួយដែលខ្លួនចង់បាននៅក្នុងប្រទេសកំណើតរបស់ខ្លួននោះត្រូវតែមកប្រមូលផ្ដុំគ្នាហើយឲ្យចេះធ្វើការងារផងឲ្យយល់កិច្ចការផងកុំធ្វើដូចថាព្រាវស្មានឲ្យតែថាធ្វើទៅឲ្យគេឃើញថាយើងធ្វើដែរនោះមិនមានប្រសិទ្ធភាពទេនៅក្នុងអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិហ្នឹងមានគេហៅថា mechanism យន្តការរបស់គេដែរដែលត្រូវធ្វើពីមួយកលៈទៅមួយកលៈក៏ប៉ុន្តែកិច្ចការដែលសំខាន់គឺថាយើងចង់បានយ៉ាងណានោះយើងត្រូវព្យាយាមតាក់ទងជាមួយនឹងប្រទេសជាសមាជិកអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិហើយបើថាយើងជាពលរដ្ឋអាមេរិកវិញយើងចាប់ផ្ដើមធ្វើកិច្ចការងារជាមួយនឹងតំណាងរបស់យើងមានតំណាងរាស្ត្រមានសមាជិកព្រឹទ្ធសភាមានអីសពយ៉ាងបន្តមកទៀតក៏យើងត្រូវតែផ្សារភ្ជាប់ទំនាក់ទំនងនិយាយរឿងខ្មែរហ្នឹងឲ្យមិត្តបរទេសហ្នឹងគេយល់ដឹងលឺឲ្យបានច្រើនផងមានកិច្ចការអីមួយយើងព្យាយាមតាក់ទងបញ្យល់គេឲ្យគេចូលរួមជាមួយយើងមានសម្លេងគ្រប់គ្រងកាន់តែច្រើនហើយនៅប្រទេសនេះវិញប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរបើមករួមជុំគ្នាយើងអាចនិយាយជាមួយនឹងប្រទេសជាសមាជិកអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិឲ្យគេជួយយកចិត្តទុកដាក់យើងអត់អង្វរទេគឺថាយើងប្រាប់រឿងគេហើយគេយល់អំពីសាច់រឿងទៅអ្នកស្រីឲ្យឧទាហរណ៍ថានៅថ្ងៃដែលពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរអាមេរិកទៅធ្វើបាតកម្មនៅអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិនោះអ្នកស្រីក៏ទៅចូលរួមមើលសង្កេតមើលដែរហើយបាននិយាយប្រាប់មិត្តភ័ក្តិបរទេសគ្នាគាត់ហ្នឹងអាមេរិកដូចគ្នាហ្នឹងថាហេតុអីវាមានរឿងអីដែលគេមកធ្វើបាតកម្មនៅពេលនេះគាត់ប្រាប់ថាគេធ្វើបាតកម្មប្រឆាំងនឹងវត្តមាននាយករដ្ឋមន្ត្រីខ្មែរដែលបានឡើងកាន់អំណាចតាមរយៈឪពុកឲ្យតកូនដូច្នេះហើយគេក៏យល់ថារឿងហ្នឹងដូចជាមិនត្រូវទេមិនមែនប្រជាធិបតេយ្យទេហើយខ្មែរចង់បានទៀតគេចូលរួមធ្វើបាតកម្មជាមួយយើងដែរនៅថ្ងៃនោះថ្ងៃទី22ខែកញ្ញាហ្នឹងហើយបន្តមកទៀតអ្នកស្រីក៏សម្គាល់ថានៅខែ10ខែតុលានេះនៅថ្ងៃទី11មានការជួបជុំគ្នាមួយពិនិត្យមើលដើម្បីយកលើកទៅនិយាយនៅក្នុងឆ្នាំក្រោយក្នុងរដូវកាលរីកហ្នឹងគឺថា Spring ដើម្បីត្រួតពិនិត្យ កិច្ចការរីកចម្រើនការអភិវឌ្ឍទាំងឡាយផ្នែកសិទ្ធិមនុស្សប្រជាធិបតេយ្យសិទ្ធិសមាជជាតិនៅឯអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិនៅទីស្នាក់ការអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិនៅទីក្រុងហ្សឺណែវប្រទេសស្វីសបាទហើយបើសិនណាជាខ្មែរយើងរួបរวมគ្នាហើយនាំគ្នាធ្វើញត្តិបញ្ចេញមតិចង់បានយ៉ាងណាចំពោះខ្មែរនោះសរសេរទៅគេនឹងយកទៅពិនិត្យពិចារណាហើយអាចនឹងដាក់បញ្ចូលទៅក្នុងរបៀបវារៈក្នុងពេលកិច្ចប្រជុំគេហៅថាការពិនិត្យឡើងវិញរៀងរាល់ម្ដងម្កាលនៅឯអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិនៅទីក្រុងហ្សឺណែវហើយគេនឹងដាក់របៀបវារៈទៅលើប្រទេសកម្ពុជាឲ្យហៅថាអនុសាសន៍ដើម្បីឲ្យប្រទេសកម្ពុជាអនុវត្តឲ្យបានហើយរឿងមួយដែលគាត់កត់សម្គាល់ថាអ្នករាយការណ៍ពិសេសអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិអាចនឹងលើកយកទៅនិយាយនៅពេលនោះគឺរឿងផ្ទេរអំណាចពីឪពុកទៅកូនដូច្នេះហើយរឿងទាំងអស់នោះសុទ្ធតែជារឿងដែលសំខាន់សម្រាប់ខ្មែរទូទៅហើយមិនថាខ្មែរយើងនៅទីណាទេបើចង់បានការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរចង់ឃើញអ្វីដែលខ្លួនចង់បាននោះគឺត្រូវតែរួមគ្នាមកកុំបែងចែកក្រុមបកពួកខាងនេះខាងនោះមិនចូលគ្នាហ្នឹងយើងមិនបានផ្ដោតមើលប្រយោជន៍រួមយើងមើលតែប្រយោជន៍បកពួកខ្លួនមួយក្រុមដូច្នេះហើយបានជាខ្មែរយើងមានការប្រេះស្រាំបែកបាក់នេះជាការបន្ថែមរបស់ខ្ញុំដែលសង្កេតឃើញក្នុងសង្គមខ្មែរអ្នកស្រីបានប្រាំផ្ញើប៉ុណ្ណឹងហើយបើសិនណាជាមានការងឿងឆ្ងល់យ៉ាងណាចង់បានព័ត៌មានបន្ថែមអាចសរសេរតាក់ទងផ្ទាល់ទៅអង្គការសង្គ្រោះកម្ពុជាហ្នឹងហើយអ្នកស្រីនឹងស្វាគមន៍ជានិច្ចបើសិនណាជាចង់បានគំនិតឬយោបល់បែបណានោះបាទនេះជាផ្នែកមួយនៃអ្នកដែលមានបទពិសោធន៍ខាងកិច្ចការនៅឯអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិយើងខ្ញុំសូមបញ្ចប់ការបកប្រែត្រឹមប៉ុណ្្នឹងចុះដើម្បីនឹងបន្តព័ត៌មានប្រចាំថ្ងៃរបស់យើងតទៅទៀតនៅមានព័ត៌មានសំខាន់ៗសូមអញ្ជើញរងចាំស្ដាប់និងទស្សនាជាបន្តទៅទៀតបាទ